I recently went out on a date with a tall woman. Thank you. I'm not a hero. I'm just brave. I am a short king. I know Drew was talking about being 5'6" in 5th grade. Okay, Shaq. But I did go out on a date with a tall woman. She was a gigantic 5'8", and head in the clouds. No, I'm kidding. She was 6'2", which is tall. That's tall. That's tall. That's not even tall for a girl. And I had a buddy the day before the date. We had been messaging back and forth, and there was a lot of chemistry because I'm really fun. And we decided to go on a date to this restaurant. And the day before the date, a buddy of mine was like, "Dude, aren't you nervous about what people will say? What's gonna happen? Some people might say some stuff, or aren't you insecure?" And I was like, "I'm so open-minded. I'm secure in my height because I still have my hair." And I was like, and then we went on the date, and I was expecting it to be maybe a little awkward, but it was a lot worse than I imagined because we showed up to the restaurant, and I pulled out her chair for her to sit, and then she did, and then she was still taller than me. I was like, I'm gonna do one of those standing dinners. Yeah, sitting as the silent killer. And we had a fine time, her head kept hitting the chandelier or something, but we had a great time. And I should have called it there, but I guess I was just following the date momentum because I'm so fun. And we walked back to her place. And I think you guys would all agree. Height and things like that are irrelevant when you're falling in love. When you're in love with somebody, that doesn't really matter. But when you're dating, it fucking matters a lot. Because at the end of the night, I didn't have an end of the night booth. We were standing in front of her place and I was just looking up at her. Like a dog waiting for a treat. And eventually she just folded over and, gave me a little kiss, and then I hugged her leg and went home. Because I'm so fun. But it's tough dating because the longest relationship I've ever had in my life has been with the Army recruiter from high school. Do you guys remember when the Army would send people to make you do pull-ups to see if you could shoot a gun? And they sent these two guys, and the deal that the Army had going on at the time was if you did 5 pull-ups, you got a shirt. And just a little bit about me, I love free shirts. So I ended up doing, it's true, I ended up doing 15 pull-ups. And if you guys aren't impressed, the U.S. Army was. Those two guys, their green camo turned white. You know what I mean? They were oh my God, he's our new general. And I was like, gentlemen, I don't want to join your little club. But they were insistent, and they made me give them all my information. And since then, every single week since high school, I have been getting an email from the head recruiter. That's hundreds of emails. And they're all the U.S. Army needs you. The U.S. Army needs me? A gay Muslim? The U.S. Army exists so that people like me don't. That. You guys, I got an email last week that was from him. It was you want to dodge Camaro? And I was like, brother, I want to dodge the draft. Stop emailing me. Do you guys remember? It wasn't too long ago. It was just a little while ago when all those whales were going after those boats and those targeted attacks. Does that ring a bell? Yeah. And I remember everyone was in support of the whales. The only people who were against it were the people, the yacht owners who were this kind of sucks. But everyone else supported the whales. Clap if you supported the whales. Yeah. That's nearly all of us and a couple of tired people, but nearly all of us. And it makes sense, because we as people went into the habitat, the homeland of these whales and destroyed destroyed everything, pillaged it for our own gain. It makes sense that so many people would be on the side of the whales, pro-whale retaliation. I just think that if you support the whales, then for the same reasons, you kind of also support bin Laden. I'm not saying I do, I'm just saying you. Everyone who clapped supports Osama bin Laden. Me, personally, fuck the whales. You know how hard it is to build a boat? Dude, I was like looking into it when I was like writing this, because I was like, I haven't heard of any of these whale attacks anymore. And this is true. They actually went after the head whales, because like whales, they communicate and stuff. So there was a matriarch, and they found her. Turns out she was hiding in a bunker in Pakistan, so they sent some SEALs. Thank you so much.
Hell yeah, Ateeq Rehman.